Utah, life elevated. This is the place that I have called my home my whole life, and I'm sure many of you have called it the same. There are a lot of aspects today, though, that people take for granted. So today I'm going to briefly talk about the history of the state and some of the features of Utah that make it feel like home. While there is a lot of history associated with the state going back thousands of years, I think that the big history that everyone knows is the Mormon-related history. The first Mormons arrived in Salt Lake Valley in July of 1847, and they were a group of pioneers, including Brigham Young. In the coming years, cities began to grow, such as Tooele and Provo, but the territory of Utah didn't become a state until 1896, almost 50 years later, in large part due to the acceptance of polygamy by the Mormons. Today, Utah is home to 3.2 million people, which puts it at the 30th most populated state in the nation, or about middle of the pack. Another prominent feature of Utah is the landscape. Utah has a staggering 5 national parks, which puts it at the state with the 3rd most national parks, falling behind California at 9 and Alaska at 8. One of the most famous of our national parks, featured prominently on some of our license plates, is the Arches National Park, which attracts over 1.8 million visitors a year, or a little more than half of our total population. Utah is also home to many sports teams, the Jazz being one of the more popular ones, having been located in Utah since 1979, and previously in Louisiana between the years 1974 and 1979. The Jazz are actually the 4th most winningest team in the NBA, according to regular season record, despite never have winning a championship, and they're actually the most winningest team that hasn't won one, falling behind the San Antonio Spurs, the Boston Celtics, and the Los Angeles Lakers in that order. Other teams that we have are the Real Salt Lake, which was founded in 2004, the minor league Salt Lake Bees, and the newly created Utah Hockey Club, which shares a building with the Utah Jazz. So Utah has always felt like home to me, whether it be from waking up in the morning and seeing the beautiful mountains, going to sports games with my family, or grabbing a drink at the nearest swig. And it's these things that make this place really feel like Utah and feel like my home.